Oh my goodness. What have we just witnessed? I feel hungover. I'm not starting this off with the usual, hey everybody, Peter here. I'm still speechless. I still feel like I'm half hungover after watching that. I can't get my head around it. I'm afraid to watch the replays in case he loses the replays. We get stuck into everything now in a minute. But yeah, welcome to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined in front of me by Ronan McNamara. How are you, Ronan?
I'm alright.
You're alright?
I'm alright, yeah.
We're going to get stuck in. Like, this is going to be an unbelievably epic tale of a lot of various turns and... yeah, I suppose this should come with a bit of a health warning at the start of it as well. We're liable to swear in this podcast a little bit this week, so if you have little ears in the car or at home or in a room or wherever you're watching, yeah, I'd block them for a little while because...
Or teach them.
Yeah, we can't, like... I just can't contain myself. I don't know where we're going to go with it. I know where we're going to start, right? Flowgas sponsor this podcast. Big shout out, flowgas.ie. Have a look at all of their plans online. We went through last week on dual fuel plans. They don't just do electricity, they do gas, they do a whole pile of stuff. All your energy needs. Weather's turned. Having a look at all your energy needs, be it for personal or for business, visit flowgas.ie. So they support golf, support them back. Right. That's that bit out of the way. I'm lost. I'm breathless already. This has been the most epic week of golf, ending in the most epic Sunday I can imagine in majors. And we're going to start off with a sad tale of, we've hyped this up for the last month. Ronan going to his first Masters. Everything was tickety-boo, all accredited. Going over the witness history. See what the fuss was about. His first trip to America. His first trip to Augusta National, and what happened?
It didn't happen. That's what happened.
It didn't happen.
No.
What did happen?
I don't know. I just didn't get through the US pre-clearance thing. But I knew when I was sitting.
Two people after crashing their car now listening to that. Just there, though, just straight out the gate.
Well, that makes me feel better. No, but I knew, like, when I was sitting in that room, and I knew well that I wasn't going, I also knew, like, that little bastard's going to win the fucking thing.
Stop. You can't start off with language like that straight out the gate. Listen, we'll condone a certain amount of it, but, like, yeah, no, it was written in the cards. But so what? You went up to customs, they started asking you questions, obviously, first time going to the States.
Yeah, and
it turned out you had an ESTA and you needed a working visa to work as a journalist over there.
That's the long and short of it, yeah.
And they had no heart whatsoever, and they turned you away. You went to the US Embassy the next day.
Yep.
Got an early meeting on Tuesday morning to try and get a visa.
Tuesday morning at 8:15.
And we flicked your flights to the Wednesday. We were saying, right, this is going to happen. And then they pulled the plug and they said, nope, 10 to 12 days.
Yeah. I got it in 48 hours, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was too late to change
the real kick in the teeth was paying for parking at about 7:30 in the morning, thinking I'd be there for a couple of hours, and coming out at 5 to 8 and not needing to have spent the tenner on parking at all. So yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel the whole week. Didn't know how to feel last night. Still don't really know how to feel. It's like when Del Boy became a millionaire, and he's kind of like, this isn't how I thought it would feel. Like, I was just like, all right, yeah, he won the Masters.
I've had so much sympathy for you all week. I've been racking my brain. Like, yeah, part of it, you were talking when you should have been listening, probably. You should have just, yeah, we're not going to say you should have lied to US immigration, because you probably tried that, and that's what locked you in a room. But yeah, no, it's horrendous to miss out on this event, for us not to have someone over there covering it. Like, we still had great access, and thanks to everyone at the Masters Media Committee for giving us the digital online access that we needed to conduct our operations and do what we were doing. But yeah, I was just devastated for you. The only positive that I'll say for you, right, you haven't seen Augusta National. You're going to go next year, fingers crossed. You have your visa already now, so you're good. The only positive I'll say is the atmosphere would have been off the charts, but you would have been so disorientated yesterday and not out. You would have had to watch that back on TV. Like, you wouldn't have had a clue what was going on. And that kind of adds to it when you've been there a couple of times.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have known what like Justin Rose was doing or anybody like that.
And it would have been so, you're walking around and you're just punch drunk and you don't have a clue. But anyway, right, moving on from your mishaps, because the butterfly effect, as someone highlighted to me, if you got there and you asked Rory a question, he would have done something different. Yeah. He mightn't have won. Like, it's not, everything happens for a reason. So next year you'll go and see him defend it. But yeah, that's the sad bit out of the way. But the positive bit is Grand Slam, baby.
Grand Slam. Golf is over.
It was never in doubt, was it?
Golf is over.
Where do you start with this? Like, I'm still traumatized.
I think you have to start with the.
I'm traumatized.
I think you could start with the shot off into 15, but then he made so many mistakes after that as well.
No, you have to start at the start. You have to start at the start with this. Like, do you have sympathy? I'm going to start off in a different way. Do you have sympathy for Justin Rose?
100%.
Yeah,
I think Justin Rose is the only person in the field other than Shane Lowry who I did not want Rory McIlroy to beat.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, you know, obviously I wanted McIlroy to win, but whereas if he could beat anybody else, bar those two players, I wouldn't have felt bad.
Yeah.
Like, if he beats one of the Americans, you're like, yeah, you know, have it, yeah, get in.
Yeah.
Whereas Rose is just, you know, such a great sportsman, and he's been tied second the last couple of majors, having done nothing wrong really.
Yeah.
Hasn't won a major since 2013, and like, you feel like if he could just win one more to get to two, it'd really like cap off his career. Like, it's like winning. Like Virgil van Dijk or something like that. You've won one Premier League, but you need to win two to be considered like one of the greats.
Yeah.
But like, even like when Liv came round, he was primed and tailor-made, looked like the number one Liv candidate, because he was just in a bit of a slump. He'd missed out on the 21 Ryder Cup team, and he's just rebuilt himself again, and he's been unreal. Like, he's going to be an amazing captain in Adair Manor, because he definitely will get that. He'll be on the team this year. I just think he's such a great advert for the game. Such a gentleman.
Yeah, you couldn't say anything wrong about it.
No, like,
so I have sympathy. I have a lot of sympathy.
And I was kind of half, like, if McIlroy didn't win, if McIlroy did throw it away, I was kind of half rooting for Rose at the same time.
Yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for him, but I was not feeling that way. I wanted Justin Rose to fall into a hole.
Yeah, well, I wanted McIlroy to lose because I couldn't be there. If I can't have it, no one else can have it.
But yeah, with Rory, I just can't get my head around, like, starting from the start. I really don't know how to put into words. Yeah, what he's achieved is unbelievable. It's amazing. And last night will live on without anyone that's watched it, anyone that's into golf for the rest of their lives. Like, it's just such an iconic thing to do, to win the Grand Slam, first one in 60 odd years to do it. Like, all that story will be told to death. But how he did it, like, if I was in front of the man, like, we'd nearly demand an apology off him for what he's done to us. I can only imagine the pressure that he was feeling going into that round. Like, the press conference afterwards was such a release. Like, there was lads asking him questions about stuff that they've asked him at the start of the week, and to get the honest answers that he's not shielding anything, he's actually just letting open and saying, like, this has been a horrific burden on my life for the last 14 years, he said, since 2011, and having to deal with that and having to carry that and the pressure of Jack and Gary Player and Arnold Palmer when he's alive, and all these lads just coming the whole way throughout the year saying, oh yeah, Rory will definitely win this, Rory will definitely win this. And he goes 11 times without it not happening, like, to try and win a Grand Slam. It was ramping up every single year. The pressure he felt, the release he felt, it's biblical stuff, like, from a golfing point of view. It's off the charts.
It was unbelievable, and I think from the very first tee shot, when he put it in the bunker, I think the whole nation was like, oh God, it's already started. Like, that double bogey came out of absolutely nowhere. And you just think, oh my God, like, is it over already? I know Rahm won the Masters with a double in the first hole of the final round, but, like, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, Bryson's going to, birdie the second or something here, or do something mental. But it never came from him, and just the most mad start to a final round I think I've ever seen, in terms of, it was so dramatic, but the golf was terrible. Like you hit all these 2-shot swings in the first three 2-shot swings in the first 4 holes, and it's just error strewn from both players. I know there was a couple of birdies thrown in, but the amount of errors that were being made, like they were both as nervous as hell, and in many ways probably fortunate that the chasing pack behind didn't really get going until maybe the last 5 or 6 holes. But yeah, like McIlroy, he'll win more majors and he'll play a lot better in the final rounds of majors to win them. But he just found a way to blow himself up but just get back up again, and that's been his career for the last 10 years, just his resilience to, you know, look like he's on the floor and then to just bring himself back up. And some of the recovery shots with the irons were ridiculous, like, and each one better than the last, like the 5th, the 7th.
No, he has
the
balls.
The one on 15 was just ridiculous.
It's outrageous. He has balls. Like he has, like, it's just some of the shots that he pulled off under that pressure, but then some of the mistakes were just like, oh my God. I was just like, in context, like the tournament was over. Whatever about what he did in the front nine, he recovered so well. The double bogey settled him, which is a very unusual thing for someone to say. Like, but he had money in the bank at the start. Bryson came at him. Bryson totally, like, shat the bed. Like, totally.
Yeah, he didn't hit the ball well on Saturday either. Like, his iron play was poor. And
he's no feel. He's just no finesse to him. It's just like bludgeon his way around.
Like, and I think Nick Faldo probably wishes he'd never play golf again. But even like you're getting all these side hill lies, and there's something that's been said about Bryson since he came to Augusta. Do the side hill lies like suit him with the upright clubs and the upright setup, because he just thrashes at everything, and like it's thrilling to watch when it comes off. But like some of his misses were wild, and they're all in the same place as well. And I actually a lot of people were fearful that Bryson was going to overturn him after the putt on Saturday, but I actually thought it was a blessing in disguise that they were both together.
Yeah,
because at the US Open, McIlroy was guilty of, you know, looking around him, seeing what everybody else was doing, whereas like he could just look Bryson in the eye on the day, and you know, fortunately enough, Bryson was gone after 9 holes really. Well, like this was a terrible final round for 10 holes. Yeah. Like if McIlroy wasn't leading, you'd be like, this is dreadful stuff. This is boring.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't
no one's having a pop here.
Yeah,
and then you just.
But it's the greatest. It is you will not see a better Masters in your lifetime. That is the greatest spectacle of entertainment that you will ever see served up at Augusta National. There is no, like, there's going to be nothing that will ever compare to the emotion, just the moment of what was served up last night. It's just, nothing will ever compare to that. But yeah, Rory just, like, moving away from Bryson. I love the fact that Rory totally iced Bryson as well, by the way, and didn't like say anything to him for the whole round.
Yeah, I think that clip of Bryson saying McIlroy didn't talk to me has been taken way out of context.
Yeah.
Like, Bryson's not complaining. He's answering the bloody question he was asked. And then he says in his transcript that I could have cried for McIlroy when he put it in the water on 13.
Yeah.
So I think that the criticism of Bryson for that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is a little, but going back, so whatever, like, Rory got away with murder on the front nine. His driving was horrendous. He was all over the place off the tee. Every bad drive he hit, like, you need luck to win a Masters like this. Every drive he hit, when he was behind, he was never behind trees. He always found a window. And then when he had to manoeuvre a little bit, he had that shot in hand. Like, the recoveries he played on 5, the recoveries he played on 7 were just outrageously good. And he just kept himself in the right moment. He was asked yesterday in his presser, what is the most important shot that you hit? And he said the birdie on 3, which I found interesting, because it just settled him back down, got him back into it. But yeah, his scoring, like, no one's ever had 2 double bogeys. He had 4 double bogeys.
4 double bogeys.
2 in the last round and still win. Shoot 73 and still win. Like, it just goes to show the magnitude of the test that was in front of him and the pressure, and because no one came from like, Justin Rose tried his best, and it was unbelievable what Justin Rose did, but
he wasn't without his mistakes either, though. I know he 10 birdies. I actually thought it was
he'd no eagles at all for the tournament, Justin Rose, and he's still there. Like, Rory had 33s.
Yeah, it was mental.
In 72 holes, and still does that. I just, we sat here 2-3 weeks ago and we spoke about Rory McIlroy and we spoke about the importance of the putt that he hold to win the Players' Championship. Not to win, to get into the playoff. Remember that up and down that he had?
Yeah.
And we spoke about the importance of that, and if he missed that,
what it would do
for him, and what he has gained momentum from that. Can you imagine what it would be like today if Rory McIlroy did not win that golf tournament yesterday?
He did his level best not to.
No, but it's career-ending stuff.
That's what I mean. You go back to the shot on 15, like there it is. Like the worst day of his career could have been confirmed if he had put that ball in the water on 15, which he very, very easily could have. Like he was taking a massive risk.
Yeah.
To whip that round the corner, 30 feet of right to left. It's an absolutely ridiculous shot. But there, in that couple of minutes, was the tournament.
But to be in so much control, like we're bouncing around hole to holes, it's so hard to put any rhyme or reason onto this. Like, decision making was the difference. In the end, decision making was the difference. But like, it was the decisions that he made. When he put it to the middle of the 12th, like back fringe of the 12th, I was like, this is brilliant. It's done. It's finished. 4 clear. Nothing can happen here. But before that, even the shot that he took on 11, how he got away with that, like how he got away with that is just, it's frightening that he actually attempted that shot.
Yeah, I think he was trying to just run it up to the front of the green. It ran on an extra 5-10 yards. I actually thought it was the right shot because I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to eliminate the cut around the tree, and in case he pulls it, it goes into the water. But the end result was nearly a disaster.
But that's when you know the golfing gods are on your side, right? And you've dodged a bullet. You get out of there with a 5. Like, he's missed that putt. Then he stands up on 12 and you think, one good shot here, one good shot. You know, Jordan Spieth stood there years before with a 5-shot lead and lost. One good shot, one good shot. He hits a really, really solid iron into that. Gets away with par. Then hits the 13 fairway. Why do you lay up?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Why do you lay up? It's when Rory McIlroy, when he gets defensive on the golf course.
That's when he makes the mistakes.
He makes the mistakes. And every time he got defensive, when he needed to do something, he needed to rise on 15, like you're saying, he had to hit that shot. He needed to hit the right shot on 5 when he left himself behind the tree. He took a massive risk, took it on. Needed to do it on 7, took a massive risk, took it on. Didn't need to do it on 11, got away with murder. Backed off on 13 when like 80% of the field that's on that fairway is hitting that green.
Yeah. And you've like 50 feet of room on the left-hand side to play with as well. That
was a cardinal error. That was the same error that he made with the misclubbing in Pinehurst. You know, when you strip it back, you know, when he should have wrapped that tournament up. But like, yeah, that was, and then the disbelief of when he did, like, that was just pure pressure. I know he's talking about, like, it was a lovely lie that he had, and you had an 80-yard shot with a 20-yard circumference to land the ball in.
Yeah,
that would get down close, and he's stuck in the wall. Like, I have never, ever, ever seen, like, John Van de Velde is the only thing that comes to mind of an absolute brain fart of a moment like that. And I was devastated. Like,
it's funny. It was at that I was watching it on my own in the house at that point, and then when he put, like, and at this point I'm still, you know, when he does something, I obviously want him to win, and I might give a quiet fist bump, but I'm not celebrating like it was a bloody goal after going to the top corner like I was at the US Open in Pinehurst, because I know I'm not there, and it was kind of killing me that I wasn't there. But every time during the week when he made a mistake, I would be livid. And when he put the ball in the water on 13 last night, I was like, oh jeez, what are you doing? Oh fucking hell, Jesus Christ. And my housemates came running down thinking something had happened. Not to me, but to Rory.
Yeah.
And I was like, you won't bloody believe it. So we ended up all watching it then together, and it was just the most tense viewing. I mean, like, even the bogey on 14 was as bad. Yeah. And then the putts on 14, 15, 16 were as watery as hell as well. Like,
well, that's his problem, you know,
wishing the ball into the hole.
Yeah, it's his weakness. Like, you know, the putts that he missed on all those holes, and the putts that he had to win it on the regulation. Like, we'll get to the 18th now in a few minutes, but like,
it was Rory's bad shots and the double bogeys and the mistakes throughout the week that made me realise, alright, I'm not there, but I still fucking care more than everybody else.
He's human, like, but it's he pulled Under pressure, Rory McIlroy pulls putts. Everything misses left.
Yeah.
And you look at those yesterday, like everything that, like to not hit the hole for a putt to win the Masters from 7-8 feet. Didn't touch the hole. Like
It's
just pulled it left. Did the same as St Andrews, bad pulling.
It's when he like hits the ball sort of on like the upper equator of it and starts dribbling it. We saw it at the US Open. I don't know what it is. It's a weird one. It's just,
I heard Faxon going on about it, about his arm position. He tends to get a bit high on it and stuff like that, goes a little upright and just a bit tense. They know it's there, but like everything missed left when he was under pressure. Like the putting 15, like you said, flaky. But when he is up against the caution, he needed to do something. 17, unbelievable. Like that, you just can't hit a better shot to that flag, and then rolls that putt in, hits the best drive probably of his career up the 18th in regulation play, and then decides to have a brain fart again and put it into the bunker.
The one aspect of his game that has been most improved this year, and then he goes and does that. But it's again, he was trying to be defensive, but like that shot is easy. That's an easy golf shot with a wedge. You don't like you can actually afford to go at the pin and just rip it back as much as you want. You can actually be in such a pressurized situation. You can be incredibly aggressive with your downswing, and you can just attack the ball. But he flared it out because he was trying to be safe. And then when he missed the putt, I was like, oh my God. And then I thought again, I got asked by one of the housemates who knows absolutely nothing about golf and was asking all these ridiculous questions about saying, oh, what does the column on the right mean, the 17 and the 18? I was like, oh, bloody hell. But he asked me, who do you actually fancy to win this now? And I said, McIlroy's going to win. And he was like, why? And I said, because he has to. He has to be aggressive now. He has to beat somebody in front of him. There's no room for safety here anymore. And that's what happened. He had the same shot into the 18th, and he played the shot he should have played 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Just that weight of expectation, and you could see like the look in his face when he missed the 6-footer in regulation play. Like before he even tapped the one in back, the hat was off and the hand was over his face. He knew, oh my God, this is happening again. Like, and then I love the shout out he gave to Harry Diamond. In fairness to Eamon Lynch, he's always one for asking good questions and prodding, and but he asked him about growing up with Harry and what that mean. And Rory, it was the only time he got emotional really in his speech in the media centre on that, talking about just how Harry got him back in the moment. Like, it's the one thing that I was hoping. I was saying, oh my God, he's coming off the back of the 72nd, like Rose after having 45 minutes there to chill out on the range on his own, get his head level, come in. And Harry Diamond, there was no Bob Rotella around. He wasn't on site. Harry Diamond was there. And Harry Diamond just said to him out straight, like, listen, bud, we would have killed for this position on Monday. We're one hole. Let's go out. Let's get it done. And he just reset the whole thing for him. And people that question Harry Diamond, that question, I think Rory sort of put that to bed a little yesterday about stuff as well, when he was talking about some of the strategy around the course and those shots that we said he got out of jail on, 5, 7, 11, all those shots. Harry Diamond was trying to talk him off the cliff edge, like, as in, just pitch it out there. There's no need to take it up over these trees. And Rory's like, no, I got this. And Harry knows just to step off then. Just leave him. Your player's made the decision. He knows him more than anybody else. Whereas I think that's where, back in the day, himself, Rory and JP fell out over. JP would come back in and go, hang on a minute here. Like, you might be Rory McIlroy, but we're 4 shots clear in this tournament. And you just need to make bogey here. Don't try and be the hero, mate. Rory is just destined to be the hero. And he's destined to take those shots on. And we love him because of his flaws, because of the bad things. Like, we're all so emotionally connected to Rory McIlroy. Even people that hate him are emotionally connected to Rory McIlroy and what he does. And they're different emotions, what I feel. But like, and it's mad, the feeling of redemption that so many people felt. Like, I cried when he held that winning putt in the thing. I cried in my sitting room last night. I could not help myself.
Loser.
I know, yeah. Like, it was so. I was just overcome with, oh my God, he's after doing it. I cannot believe. I was so happy for him, and so, like, I haven't cried since my dad died. Like, that's the emotion of the vested interest people had in this, and it was just It
See,
was.
I should have been like that, but I wasn't.
Yeah, because
That's what I missed there.
Yeah, you're fighting the disappointment of not actually being there, and not, and they're different emotions. Whereas I was watching it through a scope of, I knew the shots that when he was hitting his bad shots, I knew the trouble he was in, and you're able to work it out and do things. And I knew what he shouldn't have done, and like the amount of silly mistakes. But then it's one thing every amateur golfer in the country can learn from Rory McIlroy. And we've had some deep chats, and I've had some deep chats with pros. And I remember asking Timmy Rice last year about going back to the well. When I did stuff at the end of him, I said, how do you go back to the well every, there are different circumstances. And I asked him specifically about someone like Rory, and it was just that mental fortitude to actually just keep going back and getting hurt, keep going back and getting walked on by the press, and getting just absolutely everything he did was wrong, but stick with it, fly through the storm, and someday that door will open. And it did, and it's magical. It's the emotion, the feeling of connection that so many people in this country have with Rory McIlroy now, and with that moment, and with the sport of golf. And golf needed this. And I listened to McGinley the other night wax lyrical on the Sunday, saying, if you love golf, you have to root for Rory McIlroy in this final round, because golf needs this. Because whatever about Bryson, yes, he's 2 billion people have seen his videos online, and he's a massive following, but golf needs Rory McIlroy, and golf needs superstars, and golf needs a rivalry, and golf needs just immortality. And that's what Rory did yesterday. And just the pressure. I do not know of anyone in the history of sport that felt the weight of expectation that Rory McIlroy felt on that back nine yesterday. And for all of his faults that we love him for, and for all of the shots that he tried to pull off, and for the mess that he made of some of it, the passion, sticking with it, going at it, not backing down. When he, I'm getting emotional talking about it now. It's just crazy. It's everything and more that I ever thought it would be, to see him do that, and to see him do it in that way. I probably wouldn't have it any other way.
It was the only way he knows.
It is.
It's the only way he's known over the last 5 or 6 years, if not 10, 11. Like the vintage McIlroy, where he just coasts the majors, winning by 5, 6, 7, 8 shots. It's not that actually might come back now. But
this is what I want to get onto. 100%, I think it will, because there's no consequence anymore. Well, what is there to do now? As in, he can just chase down shots. He can do what he wants to do. He can take on all these shots now, because I've won all those tournaments. I am the alpha male on every driving range I walk onto now for the rest of my life. Only 6 people have done this.
I wonder as well what it'll actually do for his overall popularity, because so many non-golf people, or people who aren't even that into sport, or don't play the game or whatever, were so invested in Rory McIlroy 4 times a year for at least the last 5 years anyway. And the amount of texts I was getting last night of people saying, "Will Rory do it? Oh my God, what's Rory doing here? Why is he doing this? What's the situation now? How do you think he's going to do going into the back nine?" And these are people who don't play golf or watch golf, but they've watched Rory McIlroy because it's just the done thing. He is the most popular sportsman arguably in the world outside of a footballer.
Yeah.
And now as well, it almost feels like, well, what do we do now? We've invested so much in him over the last 10 years, especially with the Masters. And now you kind of wonder, well, what's next? And I think a little Rory slam is next.
Domination is next. It's in his head. Domination is next. Everyone else feel I don't think Rory McIlroy. Now, I hope I'm wrong on it, but I don't think Rory McIlroy ever feels that pressure again. He might feel that pressure again if he wins the next 2 majors and he's standing on the first tee and Royal Portrush going for a Grand Slam.
Regardless, I think.
But not that pressure, not that weight of expectation. Even if he doesn't win in Portrush, he's won the Open before. He has. I think it's going to free him up something else. He'll reel off 2 or 3 majors in the next 2 seasons.
Well, I always said if he won one more, he'd definitely get to 8. He'll definitely beat Faldo's 6. I don't think it's an outlandish thing to say that he can win all 4 of them this year, because if you look at the courses, He's got Quail Hollow where he's won 4 times.
I've predicted this in my season pod for the last
We'll
6
go back
years.
on that at the end of the year.
For the last 6 years, Rory Slam.
You've got the US Open at Oakmont, which is obviously a bit of a novice course because they haven't been there since 2016.
Yeah,
but
and it's a bomber's
But
paradise.
he's got back-to-back runners up in the US Open and 6 top 10s in a row. Then you've got the whole thing about Portrush. Then you've got the whole thing as well, and it was reflected in the leaderboard last night and how no one really chased him down other than Rose at the end. McIlroy kind of did let him in, but there's no one outside of McIlroy who's actually been at the top of their game this year. Nobody else has stood out.
I think where things have gone against him in the past of people stepping up to the plate and actually doing it, I think golf course was a lot to do with it last night as to why you can't push around Augusta like that. Like Justin Rose doing what he did was spectacular. 10 birdies in the final round, how he went about that and the pressure that he put on. But I'm just so glad he got it done last night because those opportunities will not present themselves in the way that manifested ever again.
Well, like Scotty Scheffler wasn't at the races at all this week and he was still thereabouts. I mean, I personally think Oberg played the best golf of anybody over the 4 days but just had a cold putter on the greens.
Yeah.
And like you said it off the air, like you're looking at Oberg is definitely going to win the Masters. And I'd say McIlroy looking at the likes of him, looking at the likes of Koepka passing him out for 5, Scheffler winning a couple of Masters as well. He knows like these chances aren't going to come around every single year. If I get one, I have to go and take it. For sure, the next fella out of college as well is coming soon too. Yeah,
no, it's it's spectacular. I like it's just. It's phenomenal. I don't know. I think we'll have to move on from talking a bit about Rory. There's plenty of other stuff in this tournament as well, bits and bobs. It all relates back to Rory, but the stuff that was happening around him, the Bryson stuff we've kind of touched on, but where does Bryson go from here and that? Do you think Bryson is bothered by that at all, or do you think he just, whatever, I'll be thereabouts for my next one? Would that affect him in a way?
I wouldn't think so, no.
Yeah.
I know he looks like he relies on being like the alpha male and everything, and everything is coordinated to like this big formula that he seems to have and air density and what have you. But I think if he looks at the cold hard light today, he knows I actually didn't play that well and I still had a chance to win the Masters. Like I think he was second last over the weekend in greens and regulation.
Yeah.
Like his short game is immense and I still think he's the best player, the best putter in the world for getting putts under pressure. Now unfortunately it did desert him yesterday, but that's just down to the pressure that he put on himself because he actually wasn't playing that well.
And the pressure McIlroy put onto him as well. McIlroy did. He heaped it on. Once they got onto the third tee box, Rory crushed them from 3 to 10.
Yeah, and that's
absolutely
where it was won and lost.
And that's what it like. So Rory had a massive. People say Bryson fell away or he did that. Like Rory absolutely stomped on him for those 8-9 holes and just chest out, did what he needed to do, birdied the right holes. Just heaped the pressure on him every time, recovered better than him, putted better than him, struck the ball better, even though he wasn't driving it well. Just totally crushed him. And
I think DeChambeau hitting it into the bunker on the 8th was massive.
Yeah, it was.
Because McIlroy was starting to not struggle, but it could have been another 2-shot swing there. It could have been maybe a bogey or a par to an eagle or a birdie, something like that. So I think that was a big moment, and DeChambeau thought he carried it as well.
Yeah,
and just those little things, like we talked about things going Rory's way, that was another thing that just tipped the scales in his favour a little bit as well. Because DeChambeau, his head and his shoulders kind of drooped at that stage as well.
Because he came back again. He came back at it. Like once he got the 15th out of the way, 15 was pivotal. Obviously, Rory hit an unbelievable shot, and that's a shot like that sort of shot tracer line and Rory walking after. That's a shot that'll live long in my memory. But He remarked in his presser afterwards that he changed his club. Did you hear that? So he had 8-iron in his hand to hit that shot, and Bryson hit a shot into the water. It stalled in the air a little bit, and he said, when I seen that, went back, had a chat with Harry, and we discussed it, and we actually went from an 8 to a 7. And I tried to hit something a little bit softer, but sling it around, knowing that it'd chase up once I hit the front of the green. And that was the winning and losing of the tournament. So in some ways, if that shot goes wrong, it's the worst day of his career. Yeah.
And that's taken into account what happened at Pinehurst and at Augusta in 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad it would have been.
No, it would have been. There would have been no recovery from it, like we said it earlier in the pod. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to think about that because it didn't happen, and he did win. And it's just the wildest day I have ever seen in the history of major championship golf. Like I know, as long as I live, I will never experience another day like that. And I thought Tiger in 2019 was something that would never be touched. That sort of comeback story, that redemption, but this is on another level. Like it's and the fact, like, we're emotionally tied to it because he's from our island. Like, you know, he it's just it's frightening. It's frightening how it's transpired, how long it's taken has been tough. But like you said, he wouldn't have it any other way. He was destined to win in that fashion around that golf course. And it adds to the magic of Augusta National. It's a special place. It's yeah, I don't know.
It's the human element.
I'm losing it again. I'm losing it again.
You're water.
No, it's not. It's not.
Pull yourself together.
I'm a mess. I'm a fucking mess. I'm a mess. It's not good. No, it's not good. Yeah, no, I just can't. I'm still in disbelief. And like I said at the start, like, my brother should get up early this morning. He went watching it again. He was like, "Oh, you're not going to watch it this morning again?" I said, "No, I'm nearly afraid that he'll lose it watching the replay." Like, that's how close it was, and that's how bad it was. But no, yeah, a couple of other angles, I suppose, on it. Like, Rory is gonna get a lot of coverage over this year on what we're doing. But what were your thoughts on Shane? Oh, deep breath there.
Nothing I haven't seen before, unfortunately. Just not putting the 4 rounds together. The finish on Saturday was cruel. Like, it was such a shame. It did end his tournament, and then Sunday was just a bit of a blow up, unfortunately, for him. I thought he played beautiful golf during the first couple of days. Like, and he put it really well.
He was on it. He was on it.
And like, to see the two lads halfway through Saturday, 1 and 2, was unreal. But I don't know, like, you just never felt that Larry had that extra gear, that explosive gear that McIlroy has. And I think, you know, that's the difference in the two players at the moment anyway. And we saw that at Pebble Beach as well. I did think, actually, in fairness to him, I know he's got a lot of, like, differing opinions over that, over his take about having to talk about Rory McIlroy. I thought he was dead right. Like, why should he talk about Rory McIlroy? He's Shane Lowry.
Yeah,
well, you know, it doesn't matter that he's his mate. We all know he's his mate, but sure, like, he's trying to win a bloody major, and McIlroy is still on the course when he finishes. Why in God's name would he be thinking about Rory McIlroy at that moment? Yeah,
but he was just a bit too salty about it. Like, you look at it on TV, he stopped to watch McIlroy hole out for eagle on when it was like 15 and 16 because they were a group ahead, and that's all the guy asked him a question was, did you find yourself looking back a bit? And like, he was just like, no. When actually you were seen multiple times on TV stopping and watching your mate holding out. That's all they wanted, was a word on that. They didn't want to talk about Rory McIlroy for 10 minutes. But he snaps a bit too much. Like, I've been on the brunt of it. I've experienced that off Shane. I've asked him something when he's hot in the collar coming off the course, and he's absolutely cut me in two. It's just the type he is. Like, but I do agree with him a bit. The emotion of it, yeah, they should get a half an hour to cool down, especially hotheads like him. Coming in when things don't go his way, yes, he's a lot more volatile than some, but he's wearing his heart in his sleeve. Like he said, he's trying to win the Masters himself, and I did have a lot of sympathy for him coming in on that Saturday, and I like how pissed off he was, and he did the right thing walking away. I'm surprised he stuck out as long as he did, talking, because he was always going to talk himself into a mess, because, you know, he just wears his heart in his sleeve, and like, he represents everything that we want to progress on and good. He's everything that's good about what we're doing. But yeah, it was he just didn't want to get drawn into a Rory situation of talking about that for a half an hour when he's trying to win the event himself. But yeah, any other Masters?
What about the kid
highlights?
What about the kid urinating in Rays Creek? Taking relief.
Taking relief in the relief. He'll regret that for the rest of his life.
He rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just his demeanour on the course and wearing the cap with the upside down font. I don't think he was the most popular amateur they're ever going to have at Augusta.
No.
And then what he did there was just a bit brain dead, to be honest, and tone deaf.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, he got global headlines like when you don't want to. Like he's saying, like I'd put him in the same category as the guy that was roaring abuse at Rory there 3 weeks ago and got the phone taken off him. Like, and then when it actually came to it, just froze. Like, just mental. But yeah, a lot of memories gonna last forever on this Masters. Like, it's just, and not just the Rory thing, just how it transpired, how it played out, and yeah, I've never seen an event like this in my life. I've never.
It was very poor at Carrington at Carnoustie.
Yeah, it was
just threatened to throw it all away and brought it back.
Yeah, but he did it, like Harrington only did it once at Carnoustie. McIlroy managed to do it 7 times yesterday, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just up, down, up, down, up, down. But yeah. Right. We move on from the Masters. Is there roundup from anything else? We've had some good results over the last couple of days. I see Mark Power was up thereabouts.
Yeah, he finished 6th on the Hotel Planner Tour, the UAE Challenge. He actually co-led this after 36 holes, and to his credit, didn't back off. Shot a Saturday round of 69 and was actually going pretty well yesterday, even though Renato Paratore was kind of running away with it. Did have a bit of a slack finish, but still finished up with a round of 71. Still only got just over 8.5 grand though for his troubles, but it was definitely a step in the right direction. First start of the year on that tour after a couple of clutch Pro Tour outings where he actually played quite well, but hadn't put the 3 rounds together. So it was nice to see him do it this week, and he's playing again in Dubai again on that tour as well. So hopefully he can string another performance together and get some more invites as well. Maybe do a bit of a Liam Nolan on it.
Yeah. No, I do think he will. Who else did we have? We had a couple of others doing well.
We had plenty of ladies European Tour action as we just do every week now, which is obviously great. And Annabelle Wilson was the best of the Irish. Rounds of 70, 67, 77 and 69 gave her 20th place and 5 under. She was only 4 off the lead going into the weekend, and obviously that third round 77 ended her chances, but was a pretty good return for her. She's had a bit of an iffy start to life on the LET, so good to see her chipping in and getting a decent result. Lauren Walsh finished down the field in 38th, and Anna Foster made the cut while Sarah Byrne missed it.
And else to round up?
A couple of Scratch Cups. Dewey Graham won the Rosslare Scratch Cup, and then Thomas and Liam Abom won the
Grange.
The Grange, was it Scratch Foursomes or Dublin Scratch Foursomes? And then we had the Port Rush Scratch Cups, the Ian Bamford and Sarah Bolton. Jessica Ross won the Sarah Bolton, and the Ian Bamford one was, that name escapes me. Don't know who won that.
It was good though.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's you kind of run out of things to say. We've gone through so much emotion now over the Master stuff. It's crazy, but I think we'll just move straight into heroes and villains.
Oh yes. Right, you go on.
Oh yes. Right, your villains. The Gary Player villain of the week. Mine, definitely, I know who mine is. This is whoever that US border customs guy that turns you away is just not nice.
No.
I think we'll agree on that one, will we?
Yeah.
Or do you have other villains?
Yeah, well, it was your man Ballesteros.
Ballesteros,
yeah. He just for
pissing in Race Creek.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can't do that.
No. Then Nick Faldo as well.
As a villain?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you could look at it the other way, how dare Rory McIlroy ruin Nick Faldo's big day by winning a green jacket? But he did his level best to make it about him yesterday.
Yeah, but he does that's what Nick Faldo does.
He was basically look, Rory's great, but I've won 3 of these, and come back when you've won 3 or whatever. But and then you've got McGinley as well, and trying to kind of shit on everything. Although he has kind of come out and tried to clarify what he meant by that. And then Butch saying, oh yeah, I worked with Rory as well. And there's Laura Davis saying, I'm just happy to be here. Never met the guy, but delighted for him.
Yeah, it was good. The Sky coverage was good. The McGinley stuff, those little takes and all weren't the best this week. They're not the best use of what he's good at.
The in-focus thing.
Yeah. there was nothing about them.
You're not a fan of bendy trees.
No, bendy trees. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, yeah, some of it was a bit out there, like, you know. But in all, Sky coverage was good, and like, yeah, Nick Doherty brings a lot to it, you know, sort of way as well. Just that relationship, Radar, you just can't beat. Coulthard's decent. He's decent.
Could do without Coulthard.
Yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. Like I said, there's a lot I'll take from it. So, right, your Paddy Harrington heroes of the week.
Ted Scott.
Ted Scott?
Yeah.
Why?
Have you seen his socials?
No.
Ah, man, he's so funny.
Really?
Which is amazing because he caddies for the most lifeless guy on the planet. No, I just came up to the Masters last year. He just did a dance, and I thought it was funny, and I'm just pure into like Ted Scott's Instagram now. Not in that kind of way, not in a gay way, but just what a man. He's just a funny guy, and you can tell this is a man who caddied for Bubba Watson. You've got to be a good character to put up with him.
Yeah, no, he's good.
And then my other hero was Butch, for what he said about Akshay Patia.
Oh, right. yeah. What did he say about him?
He's just dumbfounded by like how slim he is, calling him a one iron with no grip, and saying we have to get some cheeseburgers into this guy.
Yeah, Butch is good. They wheel him out. Like, it's hard to believe. Like, he's in his mid-80s now.
Yeah, and he only does the Masters.
Yeah, no, he's good. He is good. Like, for me, there's only one place to go, and it's Rory for the hero. Obviously, it's the.
You can't do that. For God's sake, Tommy Fleetwood's son deserves a shout.
Tommy Fleetwood's son was funny. I'm just trying my hardest, and I'm trying this and trying to get it over the water.
That's a story of your dad's life.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, poor chap. But no, I think we'll draw a line under it there. It's been emotional. It's been a mad week. I'm sure everyone's the same. You just felt so frazzled today, looking at history being made last night and going through. So yeah, to everyone for tuning into this and reliving some of it with us, thanks. We'll be back again.
We got some real golf this week.
Yeah, we have some real golf. What do we have? Yeah,
The
West. Oh, exactly. Yeah, you're off to the West.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
I'll get in there.
You'll get in there, yeah, hopefully. Even Cabrera get into the Masters. You couldn't even get in. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll have a lot of coverage from the West coming over the next week. And yeah, cheers for tuning in, and yeah, take care. Talk to you soon.